Good morning, passengers. It's a beautiful day for flight, and we're going to be checking out the very first successful human flight technology, and hopefully our first successful flight together, because I've never flown one of these. But thank you for joining me on the process. Hopefully this Cessna's tail did not pop the balloon. But yeah, we're going to be flying a hot air balloon today. Look at this thing, man. This is pretty cool. I mean, that doesn't look good. The little stretch marks and potential tears in this thing. The balloon that you see right here is the only thing protecting you from falling and hurtling down towards the earth. So we got to figure out how to get in this thing. We're just going to try to hop in the basket here. There we go. Okay, yep, this is perfect. This is exactly where we want to be, just sitting on our side. So like I said, I'm not an expert. I watched a 7-minute YouTube tutorial, and hopefully we're going to be able to figure this thing out. We're up to a good start here. So basically we've got these tanks down on the ground. These are going to be usually propane. Sometimes it can be a mix. I'm going to open up 2 of them. I'm going to open up 1 and 3. Let's keep things nice and symmetrical here. We don't want to have any weight imbalances. This right here is our burner setup. To be honest, it kind of looks like the grill that I cooked my steaks on last night. I mean, we even have like the little twisty knobs here to open things up. You've got a cross flow valve. You've got these guys here, and then these are your igniters. So we're going to go ahead and open up both of these. Let's ignite this one. Fire's going in there. Ignite this one. Fire's going in there. And this is going to be the technology that we have. So this is kind of our situation, ascending, descending, the lateral movement that we have going on as well. And then we have this, which is the average temperature inside the balloon. So currently it's at 15 degrees Celsius. So if we want to go up, obviously we're going to have to put some hot air into the balloon. Looks like we've got a bit of wind, which is kind of holding it open right now. Typically they would use some sort of a fan or something to kind of get it started. But basically that's how these things work. Hot air is lighter. It's less dense than cold air. So if you heat up the air inside the balloon, it wants to go up, and that's how you fly. It's pretty simple. So what we're going to do is these. We've got whisper valves as well as main blast valves for each of our engines or burners or whatever you want to call these things. So main blast valve, big fire. Whisper valve, slightly smaller fire. Seems easy enough. So we're going to hit both of the main blast valves, and we should start to see the balloon rise. I don't know if we want to do too much too soon. Okay, let's get an interior view here. I mean, this is pretty cool. You can see our average temperatures going up. We're up to 25 degrees. I think we're going to need more than that, though. We're just going to keep hitting this. Oh, there she goes. Okay. We're in Sedona, Arizona, by the way, which should be kind of a fun day. I hope. Oh, yep. There she is. Okay. And we are slowly lifting ourselves up. And we're going to keep hitting these things. And eventually we should be able to get off the ground. Let's see, we're at 57 degrees Celsius, 58. Ooh, okay. So somewhere around 58 is kind of the spot that we're going to start rising. And here we go, just chilling. Look at us. Arm lean back, taking it easy. I've never flown one of these things, but thank you guys for joining me. I'm sure everything is going to work out just fine. We are officially airborne and lifting up over the airport of Sedona. So I'll be honest, I've never even been in one of these things before. I'm not really sure what to expect. It's something I'm kind of surprised I've never done. I feel like it'd be really, pretty cool, especially in a good location where you can really see a lot of stuff. So we need to make sure we're always keeping this above that 58. You can see we're descending now because the air is cooled off in there. So it's all about momentum. So we're just going to hit it some more, and boom, look at that. I guess it's around 60, maybe a little bit more, that we kind of start to get a little bit of ascension. And we can just stay heavy on these things here, and we're really going to heat things up, and then that's going to give us the ability to let off, and we'll kind of coast for a bit. Ooh, that just turned orange. I feel like that might not be a good idea. But you can see here, we've got our situation. We're moving laterally at 2 kilometers an hour, and we're moving up at 4.4 meters per second. Now, if we check our weather, let's see what the weather's doing. It looks like, check our winds. We currently have a 2 knot wind to the east, from the west to the east. So we should start to see ourselves head to the east. My goodness, dude, this is so insanely beautiful. Look at the sun coming into the mountains. I love the western U.S., man. This is something. Being in Florida, one of the flattest states ever, it's just, I'd love to be able to see stuff like this. I just love the desert. All right, Jim, we'll see you later. Thanks for helping us out. Gonna be honest, I didn't really have a flight plan or anything. I didn't look at the winds beforehand, so I'm really hoping we're gonna be able to put this down somewhere. I figured there'd be like more open desert in Sedona, but I guess not. We're pretty much at the jurisdiction of the wind here. You do have a little bit of control, so you can move your burner direction here, and like if we wanted to go a little bit right, let's see, we'll zoom in here so you can kind of have like a point of reference when this starts moving right. So I'm gonna push us to the right. I've got it on my joystick, so we're gonna push to the right like this. If we go to the right and then add a bunch of air, you should see us start to move to the right a little bit, I hope. It's going very slow. So yeah, you don't really have a lot of control over the balloon. It honestly, it's moving a little bit. We're going up. I wouldn't say it's necessarily going right. So yeah, most times you're just kind of looking at the weather beforehand and planning out your path and hoping that you can hit your spot. As far as I'm aware, we did not do that today. I mean, it's beautiful. Just listening to that fire lapping up at the thing. We could, if we wanted to, we could shut these things off. Oop, nope, not that. Shut these pilots off. And then we have no sound of fire. It's just the world. You can kind of hear like the buzz of the city below. Yeah, this is pretty special. We got this thing heated up pretty heavy, so we're still going up at 3 meters per second, but as soon as this gets down below that like 58 to 60 degree range, we should start to drop. Now, if you want to drop a little bit faster, and let me get these things fired back up just in case we need them. If you want it to go a little bit faster, you've got this guy right here. So this is the parachute valve, and basically on the very top up there, there's a little thing that you can control. It opens it up and it lets the hot air out. So you can see right now we're at 67, 66, 65. It's going to go slow. If we let this down, it quickly reduces the temperature of that air in the balloon, and that means we are going to quickly start descending here. Again, you can kind of get like a little frame of reference there. But the thing is if you go too low too fast, obviously it's going to take a while to get the air in the balloon back up, and I think that we're kind of being... Oh, yeah, we're moving fast. We're 50... Okay, hold on. No. No, I did too much. I did too much. I don't think we're going to be able to save this. Okay. Good thing the fence was there to save us. Everyone good? We all good? Yep, that was kind of a scary moment, but we're fine. So yeah, you can use that, but obviously you don't want to use it too aggressively, dude. I cannot get over the sun peeking over these mountains here. This is just absolutely unreal. Is there a... Oh, well, that kind of answers my question. I was going to ask if there's a point that it gets too hot. We're up to 135 degrees. 140. 150. I mean, we're just going to kind of see what happens here. I'm gonna keep sending it. I'm sure there's kind of a point that you can't send it anymore, but we'll try to go to 200 or something. And honestly, you know what? We could kind of make things a little bit more interesting. Let's open up our weather app, and we're just going to give ourselves a little bit more winds. Not a lot, just like an 8-degree wind, just so we can start moving across the ground a little bit. Looks like we made it up to 200 degrees, so we're going to be able to chill here for a second, and I think we're going to be heading up into the sky for quite some time. But that's fine. I want to try to get away from the airport and actually try to land this thing legitimately somewhere nice and soft, so we'll see what we can do. Now, I do have some fun facts here. Obviously, career mode is at a temporary halt for us here in Flight Sim. I'm definitely going to miss it. I'm looking forward to future updates, but I'm kind of excited to check out some other aircraft and locations and things like that. So, as always, we've got some fun facts and stuff. So like I said at the start of the video, this is the first technology that successfully untethered flew humans, right? So before the first successful human flight, which was in 1783, I think in France, it was animal testing, unfortunately. And the first successful flight with this thing, I don't think they had any bad flights. I'm not sure. I didn't come across that. I don't really want to know, if you want me to be honest. They had a sheep, a duck, and a rooster in the basket, which it's just kind of a weird combo, I guess. I don't know why you needed all those things, maybe for weight, but I feel like the sheep kind of covers most of that weight, so the duck and the rooster just kind of unnecessary, and I just don't know why they were subject to that, but it is what you also could have used, like a sandbag or something. You know, you didn't have to do a live animal, but that's their choice, I guess. We are getting away from the airport here. Dude, this is so freaking cool. How have I never done this? This looks So peaceful. A little terrifying that this balloon and the ropes is all that's holding you together, and you're putting fire right next to it, but it looks absolutely fantastic. Now, that's another thing, actually. The bottom part of the balloon down here is made from a material called Nomex, typically, and that's the same anti-heat material that's made in fire suits and, like, you know, F1 drivers, NASCAR, stuff like that. So, typically, you're not going to see these things catch fire. I'm sure it's happened at some point, but, you know, it's a little unnerving to think that you have this much fire that close to something so, what seems frail, that's holding your life together. You've got like a wooden wicker basket below it too. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot that could catch on fire here. But I guess it can't. Now, unfortunately, I don't see any in here, but typically we would have a bottle of champagne with us, and that's become a tradition for balloons. Obviously, in modern days, it's fun to go on your little balloon tour, see the world around you. And you know what? Let's skip ahead a little bit on the daytime. Let's get ourselves some blue skies so we can see a little bit more of what's going on. Honestly, the morning sun was a bit more beautiful, and we're definitely interfering with the flight pattern here. Yeah, this is a little blown out. Maybe we go to like... Ah, there it is. I like that. A little bit of sunset happening. Yeah, obviously, you know, if you're doing a tour or something like that, it's nice to have some champagne. You're on vacation, you're having a great time. But in the early days, obviously, these things, they have to land somewhere flat. So oftentimes you would end up landing in people's fields. And I guess farmers and peasants and people like that would be upset that you landed in their field. And so hot air balloon pilots started carrying champagne and wine and things with them as gifts to be like, hey, sorry I landed in your field, but here's a bottle of champagne. Thanks for letting me land this thing. So, I mean, if you're destroying crops and stuff, that kind of sucks, but it's a nice gesture. Oh, this thing even maps out. So you can see our initial climb, fall into the fence, take off again, and it's kind of mapping our thing. I love that. So we're negative 2.4 right now because we have that under. So we could use, instead of using the big one, this is the big one right here, I'm going to use the little one just for a small amount of heat, and if we can get it up to that 50 degrees, or the 58, I'm sorry, we should, you can see how it keeps going up even after you've stopped pressing it. We should be able to get this a little bit more static. But yeah, this is cool. So we're kind of going on a little parabola here. This is just such beautiful country, dude. Oh my goodness. Absolutely insane. I just love this airport. Who thinks to build an airport on a plateau like that? That's so sick. Let's get like an actual sunset, like a golden hour sunset. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Whoo! Dude, I love like all the leather padding and stuff here. Oh, this is just insane. We're getting that cotton candy pink sunset. I love it. It's so quiet. Listen. It's so incredibly quiet. Just, oh, that was perfect. Come on, man. My man should be an actor. Look at that. Ugh, just absolutely insane. We've got that sun about to crest the mountain there, fall behind it. Been a beautiful day. My man's kind of going through it. He's got a lot on his mind, but it's a good place to do some pondering. I want to see what happens. What if we add like a little bit more wind? Not a lot of wind, just like, you know, we're getting some gustiness happening. We're going to see what happens at 18. Oh, we're moving now. We are moving. It's going to settle a little bit, but this should be good. Now, I've got some records for you guys. It's really interesting. I think we need to add some. Oh, we're at 30. Last time we were at 30 Celsius, that's when we lost control, so we're going to try to get this thing back up before we get to the point of no return. That thing was sinking like a stone before. We're heading towards this really jagged mountain, too. Probably not the best idea, but yeah, so I've got some records. Longest flight ever. Lasted for 20 days straight. Insane. That was a trans-world trip, a trip around the world in a hot air balloon. The fastest flight ever was 245 miles per hour. I have no idea how that's possible. Technically, I do. It was a transatlantic flight. They used the jet stream, and it's actually really interesting. Richard Branson was a part of the team that did that. He was on the balloon when they did that. So the guy that owns, like, you know, Virgin Group, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Cruise Ships, that kind of stuff, record label, everything else, kind of a fun thing. He's got some crazy stuff he's accomplished in his life. The highest a balloon has ever gone. Now, keep in mind, nowadays, 3,000 feet is about the max that you want to be, and we are currently above that. We are way above that. That's our altitude, right? Well, wait. Because technically, I think Sedona's at like 1,700 feet, so we would still be above the maximum allowed range. Anyway, I think are we out of air? We're out of air. Oh, shoot. You can see the amount of air on the things. Okay, so we're going to close these, but it's good news that we have 2 extra tanks here. So let's open this up. Open this up. It says that those are empty too. Wait, do we have to restart this? We can restart it. Beautiful. Okay. I didn't know you could run out of... I said we ran out of air. Technically, we ran out of propane, but you guys get the idea. Let's make sure we don't crash in this mountain. But yeah, typically hot air balloons are only allowed to be around 3,000 feet. That's kind of the limit, and they don't typically go that high. The highest that's ever been achieved is 69,850 feet, which is hard to even imagine. That's how is that even possible? Hold on, let's see if we can replicate that. So I've got slew mode. I'm gonna go into slew, and we're just gonna go up. Is there a way to go up faster? No. This is as fast as we can go up here. Just going up. Nothing to see here. That's probably a little bit too much. So we're looking 21,000 meters is what we want. 21,300. This is actually perfect. So this is the world record height for a hot air balloon, which is absolutely terrifying. Let's mess with the weather a little bit, or the time of the day. This is what it would look like in the daytime. So yeah, you are ridiculously high up. I don't know if I would trust it, to be honest. This is a bit too much for my liking, but you know, I'm glad somebody accomplished it. I'm sure the basket looked a little bit different. Can you imagine the feeling of putting your hands on the edge here and looking out over? Oh, dude. This is insane. You know what? While we're up here, we might as well. Let's just see how high we can go. See if we can take an outer or a hot air balloon to outer space. I was going to say an outer balloon to hot air space, but you know, I don't think you would want to do that. Oh my goodness, dude. The fact that it lets you do this. Okay, I don't think it's going to like it. Let's see. Incorrect altitude. Yep, I can fix our barometer there. We're at about 100,000 meters, which is just absolutely unfathomable. Look at this. You can see the dark side of the earth over there. This is so freaking cool. This would be the coast of California, right? That looks like Baja, Mexico. I mean, this is the coast of Mexico down here. California would be up that way. Man, that is just so freaking cool. Hold on a second. I was about to bounce out. So obviously there's not a lot of air up here to worry about. I mean, we can try to heat this thing up. I don't think it's going to do much. We're in a free fall here. But when we zoom out, look at the shape of the balloon. Wait, when we let off, let's let it deflate again. Actually, I stand corrected. We could get it back open again up here, but let's see. I'm gonna pull this thing. We're gonna release all the hot air in there. I don't think this is what you would want to see in a hot air balloon. Look at the situation there. All right, so we're gonna restart this. There's one more thing I want to check out. So this is a fun one. This would get really hot. We're spawning in on the ground with the balloon over us. I guess it's a little windy today, so we're gonna get our valves open, turn our burners on, get these things fired up, and get ready for a nice medium rare steak. But yeah, I don't think you'd want to be in here when you're firing the air. We're gonna need some fresh air here in a minute. There it is. Just like we planned it, and we should be able to take off. I love all the little like imperfections in the runway and stuff. All right, liftoff, beautiful. That was actually really, really smooth. Love the shadow of the balloon back there. This is just so cool, dude. It's so chill. We're gonna try to land it for sure, but before we get into that, we've seen what happens if you go to 100,000 meters. I wanted to see what happens if you take off in a hurricane. So we're gonna go from 2 to 150 mile an hour winds. Come on, baby, keep the gas on it, keep her burning. We're headed for the mountainside over there, but hopefully we're gonna be able to get over it. This is fine. You know, don't panic. We're definitely not getting anything important tangled up. To be honest, in real life, I don't think we'd be floating right now. Maybe, I guess if it's kind of acting like a parasail and the winds are really, I guess you could. Yeah, it'd be pretty chaotic though. This is we're inside it there. This is a pretty smooth situation here. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just sit and chill and, you know, be a little bit concerned about potentially falling out of this thing, but we're not getting jerked around like I would expect. We're just kind of got a nice flight path here. See if we can buzz the mountain. Don't think this is what you would want on your air balloon ride, but to each their own. You know what? It's actually perfect because I see a good landing spot over here. We're gonna see if we can land on this plateau once we get there. We're just gonna use the wind to our advantage. Probably want to think about letting some hot air out. We're at 80 degrees right now. We're obviously going to want to reduce the wind speeds as well. I think it'd be pretty tough to to land this thing like this. So let's go in, take a look at our wind, and let's go ahead and bring this back down to a normal speed. 14 still, I would imagine, is pretty quick for a hot air balloon. But okay, so we're gonna see if we can land this bad boy. So again, we know we need to let the air out. We need a low air temp inside to be able to reduce our elevation, to be able to reduce our altitude. Currently, we're at negative 2.3 meters a second, so I think we're going to want to reduce it a bit more than that. But again, we don't want to go too low. If you go too low and the balloon folds in on itself, it puts you in a pretty rough spot. This is kind of a fun angle inside the balloon. So we want to use our baby thing here just to manage it. I don't think we want it to go at 30. Was around the area where we really kind of struggled. And we're coming down here at 3 meters per second into a nice flat area. We definitely want to come down before we get to that edge. So we're going to hope that we can make that happen. We also don't want to go too fast. So 3.8 meters a second. I mean, what is that? That's going to be like 15 feet per second. That would hurt. That would really hurt. I think we're going to want this under 1 meter a second if we can. Again, be careful not to lose too much. We don't want to get going too fast on that. We definitely want to come down in time, but we don't want to come down too fast that we lose the aircraft here. So hopefully we're going to be able to get this done. Now, I don't know what you would do about the tree situation. Obviously, you can't really control exactly where you put the thing down, so we're just gonna have to hope that we hit something. Okay, so we're getting some more momentum here. I'm gonna try to cut that. We gotta keep an eye on this number. We're gonna try to land with that under 1, and anything under that 58 is gonna decelerate us. So we need to, or it's gonna reduce our altitude. So we need to make sure we're keeping it honestly around that 50 mark. 50 degrees is probably where we want to land. We're getting closer. Gonna try to slow it down a little bit. Dude, this is so freaking cool. The fact that you're just letting the wind whisk you away, doing whatever it wants with you. Here we go. We've got kind of a nice clearing in here. If we might be able to hit that. I didn't realize this was so sloped, but we're gonna be okay. Negative 0.8 meters a second honestly isn't that bad. Gotta watch out for this tree. You're gonna hit that, are we? Oh. Some wind took us there. We're fine. Can we shoot the gap here? Technically, you can angle yourself a little bit, so be careful. Be careful. But don't do too much. Oh my gosh, dude, we are flirting with danger here. Come on, you did too much there. Again, it's all about that momentum. You got to work on the momentum. You're doing something that you're not going to see actually working until a couple seconds later. We got to put it down before this set of trees here. Negative 0.1 meters a second. Oh, we were at 0.7. 0.7 when we touched down. Not too shabby. 0.1. I just didn't want to run into that tree. Slow down, slow down. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's too much wind. I think there's too much wind. You shouldn't be operating in wind like this. So honestly, all things considered, a 15-mile-an-hour wind, we were able to put her down. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think our guests would be too happy about it, but I'm okay. Yep, just gonna bounce around here. So there you guys have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new about hot air balloons. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to pilot one, you now know kind of how to fly it, I guess. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later. And we are now downhill mountain biking in a hot air balloon. I love this for us. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.